Okay, going for a take. Take two. Action.
Cool. So we're on to part two, where we're going to be detailing some of Ryan's Hollyoaks storyline. This is just trigger warning for sexual abuse, sibling sexual abuse. Just a warning before we go into it.
Yeah, here we go.
It's some heavy stuff, man. All of us have been watching some of your stuff as we've been prepping for the year.
Yeah,
amazing work. Obviously, we chatted to Izzy like in the past as well.
Yeah, met Izzy.
Insane. I mean, how's it been?
So, like you said, it's been seriously heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously I've been watching Speak No Evil. It's been like these characters who are like doing these evil acts. They're so interesting to play as an actor. So what I love about JJ is he's got so many different shades to him. And it's like, you can just look at him two-dimensional and be like, oh, what he's doing is evil. He's raping his sister, which is, when you put it on plain paper like that, it's absolutely like disgusting. But what I love and forming a character is why. And that's the interesting part. Like, and that's basically all the work I would do on it, is just be like, why did he do this? Like, he's not evil, or he would never say. And when I've looked into it a lot, especially with like kind of rape and why someone does it, someone would never say, oh yeah, like I raped them. Because in their head, people justify things so much that they kind of see that it's okay. So he sees that, oh yeah, this is a thing that I do. But afterward, it's like, oh, you know, she almost enjoys it. Like, we're siblings and we have this special bond that no one has. And the intimacy part, so this was a really mental thing when I was doing a load of research on it. Why a load of kids will do it is because they lack intimacy, and he can find that in his own sister, and that makes him feel safe. Even though he's basically putting his sister in the most unsafe environment, it's so selfish, and so it makes himself feel, it's like, that was really nice, that was really intimate and lovely. And then he just moves on with his day. And he would never be, I don't think it really eats away at him being like, because as soon as he admits what he's doing is really wrong, he knows then it's evil. So if he can basically waffle to himself that, oh yeah, this is what we do and it's okay, then it's okay for everyone.
When I was watching it, a lot of it was making my blood boil, seeing it. And I have a lot of respect for that, because to make my blood boil like that in the way you did, it was really good work. And the thing that got me and got me thinking was, it looked like it came from a place of love. And like, after the stuff would happen, it would then be like it was all okay, and like you'd done nothing wrong, like you were protecting her in a way. And that was like, there was shades to it. It wasn't just like you raped her. It was like you were protecting her, and that made me.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like, it makes your skin crawl when you think about it. But I never realised how frequent this issue is. Like, so obviously we've done so much like kind of research into it, because the worst thing I'd want to do is playing it, but then it's not real. Like, especially if someone's going through it and they're like, that's not how it happens. Like, obviously every case is so different, but me and Izzy, literally, that's what we'd work so hard on, being like, you don't want it to be like, oh, like, he's the bad guy and she's the victim. Even fundamentally it is that, but there's so much more to it. Like, they are siblings, they actually do love each other. And even, I don't know what Izzy said about it, but what I really loved how Izzy, her perspective is like, she'd hate JJ, the guy who comes into her room at night and does whatever, but then she loves her brother JJ, who she's grown up with. So then it's like, what do you do with that? Because it's such a hard situation. And then that's what's so interesting when people find out. That's why it's never talked about, because people are basically embarrassed, really, because maybe say the parent will be like, is that my fault? Is that my fault of my parenting? It's resulted in this. And then it's like, I don't want anyone to know, because they're going to think we're weird, my family's weird, and it just doesn't get spoken about. And I feel like when something doesn't get spoken about, that's when it just boils over and everything gets worse.
So when you found out you got the role, and you found out about the storyline, what did you do to turn the pages into real life?
So I love doing a lot of stuff where, So I've actually got the book with me, actually. I've got my work bag. But I just do diary entries as JJ. And so I'll just speak about it in the first place. I was like, if someone reads that, they're going to think I'm absolutely like traumatic. But like, because I'm writing it all in first person as JJ, because I feel like I saw, who was it? It might have been, do you know what? I don't know how to say his last name, but you know Barry?
Barry Keoghan.
Yeah. So him. And he's, and what he said, and it was so true in an interview, is that you can't judge your character.
Yeah.
It was like, because then you're seeing it as from an outside perspective. So when you don't judge it and you look into why, then you can step into them shoes. Right. So I'd write in something like, whatever. And a big thing with JJ, it was always control. So in the show there's Lucas, who is basically like this other lad who's like a good looking guy, and he becomes really good friends with Frankie. And what I don't know is Lucas is actually gay. But that makes my blood boil. Like seeing them two together, I'm like, and that's kind of what sets it off again. I start seeing them, it's like, the one person who I've always had with me through ever school, like my mum not being there, never having really a dad. Like I've always had my sister to like make sure she's okay, make sure I'm okay. And then when that starts getting taken away from me, that's when I feel like he snaps. And and then he'll be like, because this gives me power and that gives me intimacy with her. Whether she likes it or not, that I create that environment of being like, I get what I want now because basically I'm losing control, and that's when he will kind of freak out.
Yeah.
What were some of you said about the research that you'd done? Was it like charities that you worked with?
Yeah, we worked with a charity called SARS's, which is sibling sexual abuse, and they're really specifying that. And that was just amazing to work with them. So we did kind of like a small documentary with them, and just explaining of just how it's something like stupid now. It's something like 1 in 5, not some sexual abuse. 1 in 5. It's that it's sibling.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but it's something. The statistics are absolutely ridiculous, and obviously it's probably going to be a lot higher because not many people are ever going to report it.
Yeah.
So, and then we got to speak to a survivor of it, and she had so many like different opinions, like it was her brother, and she was so open about, because I can't speak for her, but she's in the process of healing, and I don't know whether she's fully healed or whatever, but just speaking about how it made her feel.
Yeah.
And she was like, I was ashamed, even though she's done nothing wrong. And then basically the abuser gets to just live on, and she has this horrible secret kind of thing. So that was just really interesting, just talking to actual real life stories. And that's why I'm so proud that I've done it, because it is real life and it's horrible. And that's literally a big thing I always wanted to do, especially with directors. They were so kind. They gave us the freedom. And scripts, sometimes we'd be like, I'm not so sure on this. This just, you don't want it to like come into like this Disney thing where we're doing a horrible storyline, but then it's got these soft edges around it, because real life doesn't have soft edges. And you want to tell a story, and hopefully, even if one person is like, thank you, like, this is happening to me. And now I realise it's not okay. And I can even just tell a friend, tell a teacher, tell my mum, tell my dad. Just like that is just what is being so like, being blessed by that storyline for me.
And how has the audience received it? Has there been a good reception?
Yeah, it's done. Like, I wasn't sure how my character base would get reacted to, because he's not ever going to be anyone's favourite. But it's crazy. Like, people have been so kind about it. Of obviously going to always get like different things said and whatnot. But majority wise, I try not read it, because it's kind of not great for your head to just read loads. But I've basically been so fortunate that people have basically come up to me like, oh my God, I hate you so much. And it was like, but well done for that, because I hate you so much on TV. But it kind of shows that you're doing a decent job. So that's been kind of the majority. It's been really positive. And it's done crazy on TikTok, which has been mental. Like, people don't, because I feel like soaps, our generation, they don't watch them as much. And because people now, it's all social media, innit? So it's done so well. It's just got like millions and millions of views on TikTok. And it's like people coming like, I'm from the Philippines, where do I watch this? Like, I've never heard, like, what? And they know this is like, they think it's a film, or they think it's a TV series. And it's like, no, it's like, it's a soap, and they don't know what a soap is. So it's like, or I'll be in the street, it's never kind of Hollyoaks. It's like, oh, you're TikTok boy. So
really?
it's
Like,
really
you're
weird.
TikTok.
And then obviously it's like, oh yeah, Hollyoaks, and it's like that story, like the mental storyline. Wow. So it's like, it's because it's so accessible, TikTok. It's just like, I was in Greece and I don't know what to say. Basically, I'm really embarrassing. I'm on a ped and then there was loads of people, and obviously speed helps you balance out on a motorbike.
Yeah.
But there's so many people, so there's just like, they're all going so slow, and I'm like, oh, like I'm trying to get up this hill, and they're all like gravel roads, and this bike, it must have been like falling to bits. This bike, awful. I'm on this ped, like, and then behind me is Scarlett, and then which is my girlfriend. So then like whatnot, and then she's obviously worried. All these people, we've just gone. Falling off this bike.
No.
So embarrassing.
Oh, no.
All these people, and obviously like the worst thing is everyone's like, "Are you okay? You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, fine, fine." I've got this massive like gash on my leg. And then someone goes, "Are you in Hollyoaks?" And I was like, "No."
Worst
There's
timing.
probably there's a picture out there floating about with my broken ped, the wing mirrors snapped off. I had to take it back to like, what's it called, Speakro or something like that. I had to take it back to him. He was terrifying with all this broken wing mirror. So that was traumatizing. But it's just crazy to think I was in Greece and they know my storyline.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think as well, the reason like the storyline has done so well, in my opinion, is because of how honest it is. Like you said, there's no smooth edges in life, and it hits the nail on the head really of how it is. And like, I can't say from my experience because I've been fortunate enough not to experience it in my life. However, I watching it, you know, the emotions that it triggered in me, you've done something right. And the reception that I've seen online has been very good. And you know, that's why like you can relate to films, TV and soaps, and when a storyline's impactful like that, it does well because it's impactful. It makes you feel. And like, that was an unfortunate event in Greece.
Yeah.
But the good thing about it is it's getting recognition worldwide.
Something I'm always interested in when people play in these sort of villainous characters. How have you been able to keep, maintain a safe environment on set? I know Frankie, Izzy, she's spoke about it a little bit back then. But how do you also like make sure that you're safe? You get out of that headspace when you leave set.
So I'm huge on just like kind of like mental health and just like, or just doing mental practices, because I find it. So obviously it was my first ever proper professional gig, Hollyoaks. So you don't know what to expect really, I feel. So I'd never been on a set, never done any of that. And especially I wasn't expecting a reception of just people randomly know. Obviously I was like, Hollyoaks is a big show and people might recognize you. But because of the TikTok side, I wasn't prepared for it just to like just loads of people coming up to you all the time, which was the biggest shock. But to kind of cope with that is just I've really got into the gym. Like that is just one thing. It's like, so we did a night shoot where it was horrible, where we did the rape scene in a park. And so it was close. So they were always amazing at Hollyoaks, to be fair. They closed set just with director, obviously like boom. And that was about it really. And then camera. So we're just there and they'd always check. There's always someone there if you needed to chat to. But because I feel like what was so great about Izzy, obviously she's from Manchester as well. Like she's just such a kind soul and we would get along. And then if I ever needed to talk to her, I could talk to her. Or if I'm having a bad day, she can come and talk to me, or like I can talk to her. And it was just, because you have that vibe with someone, you feel safe to, even like in the acting then you can push it a little bit more. Because if the worst thing is when you feel uncomfortable, you can't really get your, I don't know.
Can't be vulnerable.
You can't do your best job. So they made such a safe environment. We did that. Obviously we had fish, code word. We never used it, but it was there. So it's just a nice thing in the back of your head. We always had intimacy coordinators if we needed it. And just completely safe. And then did the rape scene. I was like, oh my God, that was crazy. I think I got like, it's a bit cringe. I put like a Tyler Durden like Fight Club playlist on.
Yeah.
I was just driving home, just thinking I'm in a film, drove home. I'm like, what is going on? Went to the gym. And then like that, it just kind of clears my head.
And so that's coming out of it. What about going into it?
Classical music.
Yeah,
Weird. Classical,
Yeah.
like villainous. There's like a playlist
Yeah.
on Spotify that absolutely banged. It was like I'd be listening to like Swan Lake before a take, and because it's so like I love stuff like that. It sounds kind of weird, but that was so. And what's another one? Have you ever seen Euphoria?
Yeah.
Nate from Euphoria always helped me.
Oh,
So Nate, who was another good one. Have you ever seen The Talented Mr. Ripley?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I love that. Is one of my favourite ever films.
Me too. I love that
And
film.
I kind of stole different parts from each of Matt Damon and Jude Law. So Jude Law, the charismatic side of JJ being, everyone loves him. He's this popular footy player and he's great and he can get whatever girl he wants. And that was the fun side to play. And then the Matt Damon side of being obsessive and weird and like wanting someone from someone and like, and then the Nate part of the control and the aggression. And like, I love watching amazing people act and then stealing little bits from there. So basically, just it was a merge of all that. I'm trying to get into it all.
Cool, man. That's sick. So what do you reckon we can see from JJ next? Obviously, you guys have just done the time jump, right?
Yeah, so we've done a time jump. So over this year, there's been a case going on. So Horrible JJ has come out and said, in the police station, yes, we have had sex, but it was consensual. So it's been like, yes, so that, and obviously that's what the court case is now. That is, basically it's her words against mine, do you know what I mean? She's just, all she's saying is, you know, like, no, and I'm saying, yeah, it is true. And then, so you'll see, and how it kind of plays on someone's moral of lying, and you'll be able to see how JJ deals with that.
So you were doing college, right? Did you get the gig while you were still studying?
Yeah, so I've done my first year. So basically, I'm a college dropout to be an actor.
Nice.
So did my first year, loved it, found some really good mates, and then it was literally the September. It happened so quick. I'd actually been, funny story. So been to Leeds Festival, come back, and I was out with all my mates, and said everyone can come back to mine. Stupid idea. It was a Monday. So I didn't realise, I wasn't being that much of an idiot, but I just didn't really think. So, okay, I'll do this story pretty quickly. So had everyone back, everyone's bouncing, and then Dad comes down in his dressing gown, loses it. No. Or like, he did the thing where it was like, can someone just get Ryan? And then so I go in, and he was like, absolutely like that. I had an absolute hairdryer with it, like absolutely terrifying. So everyone's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So that's let rip, idiot. So I've done this after party. Everyone's gone. Next day, get the self-tape. And it's boy has after party and Dad loses at him. And then, so I go, oh, Dad, by any chance, can you do this self-tape with me? And he's like, I'm not doing that. He's like, oh, I'm not doing that. And so we go down and do it. I think it was better than me. I feel like my dad got me the part. It was that rage doing the self-tape with me. Then literally the next day, they're like, oh, we'd love to see you. So go in. And then another one, and then you do kind of like, for it, a twin, kind of mixed and matched. So then I got the part literally first week of college. And then it started.
That's mad. And how was it adapting to being on set from the I guess, like theatre that you'd done before?
Yeah, so I'd never done anything professional like TV-wise or like film. So I was in there, I loved always acting, I've always really, really loved it. But it's so different being on a set. So obviously everyone's experience is different, but I was so nervous. I was like, funny, I don't know if Izzy told the story, but first day, I didn't even know what like an over-the-shoulder shot was. So we've got this, and then they go, oh, for continuity, can you please step into it? And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like, I don't know what that is. And Izzy's like, just step back. So I've done that. Bosh, straight into the camera.
Oh no.
And then they're all gonna, artist has been hit. And I was like,
man down.
literally first day. I'm literally bright red, absolutely mortified. And she's just laughing at me. And then I'm like, oh God. But it was definitely like the nerves. And I feel like, and now I've got the experience of doing that. I just want to do so much more. But I'd be going home and be like, I could have done a little bit more there.
Yeah.
If I wasn't scared, if I just had a little bit like, because it's weird. Someone comes in and just starts touching your eyebrow hair because it's moved a little bit, and especially with these bad boys of eyebrows, they're thick, very thick.
Yeah,
so
Irish
like,
eyebrows.
literally, like I would like someone's smoothing my eyebrow, then I can't remember my line. I'm like, oh God, this is so it's so weird transitioning. But I've been so lucky how great they were with me, and it was an amazing process. And I like to think that I just got better with it, and. But it's like anything, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it, so.
Yeah, it's only in hindsight, knowing the things that you know now, that you would be able to actually do any of it better, or whatever that would mean.
100%, yeah.
There's a quote that I like, which is that the creative work that you do is like a diary entry in your creative journey. You know, you had to do that diary entry to be able to then do the next day.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
then you keep just working on it until, like, you're working with, I don't know, in Hollywood or whatever.
Dream,
Next steps.
dream. No, actually, I just wanted to mention something. What I really like doing with this character, So like I said, obviously he's the bad guy, he is the evil character. But I love when an actor can make you feel sorry for him. And I was like, or make you feel something for him. Because that's, I feel like then you know you've done a good job. Because I want everyone to know that he is human. And I did this scene, so spoiler, my mum dies in the show. Like, so so she died. And then I had this scene, but she was the only person that ever backed me and believed me. And then she's gone. And obviously now it's this boy who is alone. So then we think about, he's 15, alone, no one loves him, everyone hates him where he is from. Even though he's done all these horrible things to kind of deserve it, I was like, if I can make the audience just feel some pain for him, I would be really proud of that. And I was really proud of that scene. So it's basically a scene I come in and just like, find out my mum was dead. And basically he crumbles and his whole world crumbles. And that was definitely my favourite scene I've ever filmed there.
I actually watched that just before we started, actually. And some of the comments were like, wow, I really feel for the character, but also really confused because I'm supposed to hate him at the same time. So he obviously like smashed that. And it comes back to what we were saying about James McAvoy in Speak No Evil, where, you know, as actors, sometimes you're told just like focus on like the character that you're working opposite. Whereas he talks about how he'll plan, you know, in this moment, I can sort of make the audience feel this way about my character. And then in this moment, I can maybe like tug on the heartstrings a bit more. I think it shows more that beyond being an actor, you're also a storyteller too. You're also collaborating with the director and everyone to be able to show all these different facets of the character.
I think as well, human beings are three-dimensional, and that's important. Is a good guy, bad guy, that's a one-dimensional character. And to have all these layers and to make them three-dimensional, four-dimensional, like there has to be some level of who's right and wrong and what is right and wrong. And sympathy, I like the fact that you use that word because I think sympathy is the hardest thing to provoke out of an audience, especially when your character's in such a horrible situation because of what he's done. So the fact that by the looks of it, you've achieved that is pretty impressive, man. I mean, and like with Hollyoaks as well, the way where everything's like but there's a rhythm to it where it's
so like
hard. And I mean, adapting to that obviously from college and from plays, how did you adapt to the speed of like the pace of a script?
I know, it's mental. It's like I was in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm always going to do like 2 weeks, a week before. I'm going to know my stuff, absolutely nail it. And then, that's what everyone did. Everyone did that. So, and it's like, you're getting an amend the night before of like this huge scene. Like, do you know what I mean? Or like, even on the day, sometimes it's just like, because it didn't flow right.
Just give you a script.
That's what I mean. So it's like, so funny story. So literally being out for the Euros, and I literally had this one word scene. I was coming in, they were like, oh yeah. Unfortunately, we can't like, and I was like, oh, they're just gonna send me home. I was like, great. I was like, no, we had that. I had like this. It was like a 5-page hander, just a 2-hander with me and Jimmy. And I was like,
oh man.
So we did that, and that was like, it was so. Do you know what? It's got me to be able to learn lines so quick. Like over this last year, I've been able to learn lines just like anything now. It's like, I think it's like that skill. When you use something of your brain so much, you're always gonna get good at it. So I was obviously, sometimes I'd be like, oh, I hate this. I have to do this. And it would be like, oh, I just want to go to bed. Like you've had a 12-hour day. And now it's like, now I need to learn my lines for tomorrow. But it's just the discipline of doing that is, I think it's made me better in the long run. But obviously at the time when I was like just out of college, all my mates are kind of like either going out and you're like, oh, I'm going to do that. But mate, you've got to be up at like 6:30 tomorrow to do this. But then it's like, you can't complain because I'm doing a job that I love and it's so exciting. So it's like swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
So going back to that 5-page hander, how did you learn it?
So literally just run and that's all I have to do. I like writing out my lines and not saying what emotion I'm feeling or just what thoughts I like doing. So I goes ham with a little pencil and just
like
see what I'm feeling. Why, all that. Why I'm doing this. And then Jimmy is the funniest man ever. He's playing so I'm Jack Jr. and he's Jack, so he's my granddad. And I just ran around with him. And he's done what did he do? He did something with Sean Connery, and that's all he goes on about. Like, and he's the kindest man literally ever. And he's got all this experience, and what was it called? It was a Scottish film. I don't know what it's called, but he's an amazing man, and I've just learned so much from him in general, as a person and as an actor.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned so far then with Hollyoaks?
Definitely just be kind. I think because you're surrounded by all these people, you're working with them 24/7. Don't be an idiot, because they make you look good basically on the camera. Be kind. Definitely work on your mental health, because I think that was so important. Just to be able to have a rock solid mind as an actor is, and then if you feel good and you feel free and you're in your flow state, that's when you're going to give your best work. So, and just also fit and healthy. Literally, mental and physical health is so important as an actor, because if you don't feel good in yourself, why can you get into a character? You're not the right like mental space. So literally, be kind. Have your mental health sorted out and physical health. And basically, don't be an idiot and just keep smiling.
Nice.
Mindset.
Gorgeous place to wrap up.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure having you on, dude.
Yeah, man.
Thank you,
Nice
boys.
one.
Thank you very much.
Lovely meeting you lot.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you.
And that,
And that is
That's a wrap.
There we go, baby.